tell us about the Horton thing. I know you told us once before, but
I ain't heard it.
Well,
he hadn't heard it.
Horton's graveyard is a very particular thing.
Is this in Horton, Marshall County?
No,
this is Old 35. You know where Old 35 is,
it's between the. I can't walk.
You know how you drop off the mountain. You
It's
go
between
by the church,
Fort
right?
Payne and Lebanon.
Well,
are you talking about that little cemetery on the hill?
Yeah, bro.
Pine Ridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know it was called Horton Cemetery.
That's called Horton's. You know the story behind that, don't you?
I do not. But I know somebody that lives by there. I've been there plenty of times.
Let me go ahead and tell you, man. There's a cave.
Me and Brandon's fixing to go there.
Ooh, I want to go.
Go with us,
You can go
Will.
with us,
Yeah, we'll make a video.
I don't care. You can go with us.
Special guest.
Special
Yeah.
edition.
Yeah, you'll be our special guest.
Do you know? Okay, you
Tell
know
about
the
the
graveyard,
cave.
right?
The cave? No.
You know? You don't know about cave? Man, if you okay, look.
I'm not from around here. You're gonna have to enlighten me.
You know that big old the big old gate that you got to cross to go to the graveyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you cross that graveyard, you walk straight to the graveyard, right? If you keep walking past it a few hundred yards, you can turn around and there's a cave right there somewhere, and you can walk up under the graveyard, and there's caskets hanging down.
Oh, that's just freaky.
Dad's told me this
It's
story
freaky
before.
as hell, bro. I'm telling
We're
you.
gonna
I've
go there and
been
make a video. You wanna
There's
go with
them-
us?
There's needles.
Yes, we gotta go. If I go, you gotta go, Kyle.
There's
Three-
needles. You walk up under the graveyard, you'll see a bunch of caskets and stuff like that. Anyways, do you know the story behind Horton?
No, I do not.
Okay, Horton walked up, or Horton's house. You know where the graveyard is?
Yeah, he knows the graveyard.
Yeah, I know where the graveyard
We've
is.
established that part.
Well, time out. About 200 or 300 yards past the graveyard, down that dirt road, is where Horton's house used to be.
Gotcha.
It's been burnt down.
Oh, is that the one, the guy that like killed his whole family and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now-
that's the guy in Fort Payne.
Now the thing about it is, he hung.
It didn't
he
get burnt
killed-
down to what, 2008 or something like that?
He tied his two kids, or he tied his wife up, killed his two kids, and then killed his wife after 2 days of torture. And then he hung himself from the chimney. Okay, after all that, he hung himself from the chimney. They buried him all in the family graveyard. But here's the thing, you can go up to the house right now. The house has been burnt down.
Yeah.
You can walk up to the house and still feel, when you walk across that threshold, you can still feel the presence
But
of those
tell him-
four
tell him-
family members.
Now, local. Some people will say that never happened, that the killing never happened. Now,
Well, here's the thing about Fort Payne.
I've heard that some people, like some of the weird people, they've done like satanic rituals there. Like
Yeah,
sometimes you can
I
find
wouldn't
stuff
doubt
like
it.
that.
I wouldn't doubt it at all.
When you got a motherfucker that kills his whole family and then hangs himself, that's the best damn place to do a fucking satanic ritual.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
for real. But see, the thing, tell them about. I mean, the whole thing about the house burning down was because of a legend that was there, that if you lit a candle in the window, that you would. Brandon said you would see a girl in the window when you walked outside, but I also read that you would see the candle be picked up and moved around the house. But some girl went in there and lit the candle to see if it would happen, and she burnt the house down. But there's people that will argue about that, and they'll say, no, that the police burned it down themselves because they didn't want people up there and all this. And Kevin read that it got hit by lightning. But I've read online, you know, if you go to certain sites and you Google Horton House, and because there's another big Horton House in another state. But if you'll Google Alabama, Pine Ridge, it'll come up and say, you know, that people will make comments and say, no, I knew so-and-so that was there that night, or I know so-and-so that was a firefighter, and this girl did start it, you know, by lighting the candle or whatever. But do y'all know anything about...
The thing about it is...
What is so funny?
College is perfect because it forces you out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Because I never had the courage to walk in front of a moving
Oh,
vehicle
he's
in high
reading a
school.
meme or something like that. Got 8 minutes left. But here's the thing, what? Go ahead, Brandon. Say what you're going to
The
say.
thing about Horton's house is, when you walk across that threshold, where the house used to be, because I've been there, I've seen where the chimney is and all that shit. When you walk across that threshold, you feel, alright, first time you go, this is a legend. First time you go, you walk across the threshold. You're supposed to see a bird in the window where the little girl died. And you'll hear, you know, a screeching from this bird. And you know how when you wake up in the mornings you hear tweet, 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 tweet from the birds? Alright, well it ain't like that. It's like a fucking crow. All you hear is, you know, you hear real fucking spooky shit. Alright, that's the first time you go. Second time you go, when you walk across the threshold, it feels like somebody's grabbing you and squeezing you. And that's the wife. The first time it's the little girl telling you to leave. The second time it's the wife squeezing you. And she's telling you don't go any further. Don't go any further. Don't go any further. Well, the third time you go, you meet Horton. And Horton is a poltergeist. He is able to touch you. He is able to feel you. He is able to throw you out of that fucking house. He is able to throw you into the dungeon. He is able to throw you into a fucking fire. That's creepy. Alright? I've been one time. If I go back again, I will not be back the third time because I believe 100% that shit is real.
I went to Tally Cemetery in Stevenson. Have you ever heard of that? Somebody from church was telling me about that place.
In Stevenson, here?
Yeah, Stevenson, about an hour away. But yeah, he didn't tell me it was pulling off the beaten track. I ain't never been. I mean, I did a video there just walking around showing who I was there and stuff, but I didn't tell this or have this in my video, but when I was taking pictures, I heard something come from the woods, and I heard something run straight up to me. And I was like, okay. I thought, yes, I was by myself. I didn't know it was off the road like that. But I thought, well, I mean, I was scared before I got up there. And I said, well, I didn't come this far, just turn around and leave. But I was like, okay, I'm not going to acknowledge you, you know what I mean? And then I heard another set of feet run right up to me. And I knew the whole time I was there, I knew I was being watched. Like, you could feel it. I ain't never in my life felt something like. And I've gone to several. No, it was during the day. Yeah, it was during the freaking day. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's like, y'all go there at night. And I'm like, there'd have to be a bunch of us before I go at night because it's so scary. And but I've been to, like, them cemeteries down there in Florida with some of them others. And some around here, too. But I ain't never felt what I felt there. And, but you know how, like, when kids will run up to you when they're seeing what you're doing, that's what it sounded like. It sounded like. I mean, I could literally hear them crunching, like, twigs and leaves. First of all, I heard something come from the woods, because there's woods all around it. And I could hear something running from the woods to start with. And first of all, I thought, well, that's the animal. But then it kept running around my car, and it ran straight up to me. But I didn't have that in the video. I was too scared to acknowledge or say anything in the video about me knowing anything like that was there because it scared me so bad. I guess I thought if I said it out loud, you know what I mean? It'd make it more real, more scary. My sister wants to go with me there.
I'm trying to think of things that have happened to me, but my mind went blank. You think something scary, you know, you'd never forget it.
Yeah.
But I got stories from my family down around here or whatever. When they were growing up as kids, you know, I got a bunch of aunts and uncles and whatnot, and I know two of them, when they were around 11 or 12, you know, people don't have cars, they got motorcycles, you know, they got dirt roads and stuff.
Right.
So they just used to walking from town to town or whatever, which is not too far, you know. Anyway, so one night, you know, kind of like at dawn when it doesn't get too dark, but you can still see, you know, it's still kind of dark. They're walking back home, you know, two aunts of mine, and they noticed that something was following them from a distance, and it looked like a little black dog, you know, so they didn't think nothing of it, you know, you got animals everywhere. And they said, you know, they were just, you know, talking, chit-chatting, you know, and they noticed that the closer that this dog got to them, it was a straight up black dog, kept its eyes, no nothing, especially in the dusty time. They kept getting bigger and bigger, and it started getting on two legs, like they said. And it kind of scared them a little bit, so they just kept on walking, and it gets smaller, back to like two-legged form. But the slower they got, and the closer it got, the bigger it got. Like, literally like person's spouse or whatever, and they looked at it, and by the time it got real big, it was nearly nighttime, so they couldn't really see it, but it said it was 2 feet facing us. So I don't know,
Like a skinwalker, probably.
something like that. It scared them to death. Once they got past like a little bridge over a little creek or whatever, they said they just gunned it home.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
That's scary as crap.
And then my grandfather, like when he was a younger man, his brother liked to go from bar to bar, you know. And one night he got killed. They didn't know who killed him. They said all that happened at the bar was a huge gunfight, and he got hit with a 22 bullet or whatever. Died that night. Well, a couple of weeks passed, after he was buried, and my granddad was coming home from doing off from work. He was riding on a horse, and it was nighttime and it was real foggy. Rainsville and stuff. And it ain't unusual, see traffic go by you. And he said he heard this other horse walking up to him, and he decided he saw another guy, right next to him. He didn't think nothing of it. And the guy looked at him and said, "Hey, how you doing?" "I'm fine, how about you?" He walks off. And then it just hits him. He's like, "That's my brother's voice." He looks back. Horse and guy ain't there.
Oh.
Yeah, it was weird. And then my dad, supposedly, when he was about my age, my grandfather, he got killed as well. And he was coming back from work one day, and he just about to hop in the shower, in the bathroom. And as soon as he goes in there, there's my grandfather just sitting there, looking at him. It scared the crap out of my dad. Things like that.
That's crazy. Some girls that I used to work with were Hispanic, and they used to talk about Llorona or whatever. Have you heard of that?
Yeah,
The way, yeah. I never heard of that. They were telling me that, like around here, if they want you to do right or stay in the house or do it, they'll say the boogeyman will get you. And when they were little, they said that she would get them. She was their boogeyman.
I got a question. Mama told me about a story when y'all lived with Granny.
Uh-huh.
She told me about a story. She said that you were scared, and so she never said anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
But she said that there was a story you told Granny about, and Granny told you to never say a word about it, and Mama never figured out about it. Because you were so scared that it made her scared, and Granny told y'all never to talk about it because Granny was scared.
Well, I don't remember Mama never saying to talk about it, but the only story that I know for sure that happened to me when I was a kid there was, it was a new neighborhood.
Environment.
Yeah, and had new houses, no telling who'd been, living there then. 2 boys that lived up the road from us, and I don't know what we got in an argument about, but I was in the basement. You know how Dad's always making those shotgun shells?
Yeah.
So I got mad. I was in the basement alone. I remember being mad at them or mad at somebody.
I think this is it.
Okay, well, there was a door. Okay, there was the garage.
Yeah.
Then there was a room between the garage and the stairs that led up into the living room. So she kept those doors shut to that room because she kept, all the seasonal things or whatever in there.
Yeah. You're
Well,
talking about Donna, ain't you?
No, I'm talking about my mom. When we lived in Harrison.
No.
At her
okay,
old
I don't-
house.
I don't know nothing about that.
So, but you said the other thing happened over at Donna's?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't know who it was. I just know
Okay.
that
But
you're
anyway,
talking about the same story. I know
I don't
that
know.
much.
But then I had took some shotgun shells and
Hit them in your bedroom or something.
no, I was mad at them kids, and I picked up them shells and I threw them because I was mad. Well, they hit that door,
And went on.
and then when they landed, I saw a very large white skeletal hand come
Yeah.
out from under the door, and its fingers were wide open, and it like touches
The
the shotgun shells and retreats back, and the shotgun shells, they go like spin round and round and round, and then they made a perfect U right around my feet. and I look up, it's not there anymore. But it creeped me out. I mean, you can't just, even if a
You can't
person was
think of that
there.
shit.
No, even if a person was there and they pushed them, they're not going to make a perfect U, because I wasn't like right beside that door. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But to see that hand, I was so scared. And then to see the things come around my feet, I
Now,
went
time
running.
out. Let me ask you a question.
I went running.
Was
Let me finish though.
Was Papa and Granny still together
No.
at the time?
No, they were not.
weren't?
They were not. No,
Okay.
that I don't think they were. Not that I remember. They could have been, but I don't
Well,
really remember.
All I remember is Mama told me that you and Jessica were together at Papa's, and you saw something really scary, and Papa told y'all to forget it.
Well, I ran out of the garage. I ran out of the garage and went up the steps to the front of the house. And I went running inside, screaming and crying and telling Mama about it. And that's all I remember as far as that point goes. But I do remember later on in life, I brought it up or something at one point, and Mother said, and she believed it wholeheartedly. She goes, I have never, ever seen you so terrified all your life. Like she knew
That's
that
what
I
I'm
saw
talking
what I
about.
saw. She
Yeah.
believed me.
See,
But
Mama told me about that, and Mama told me the exact way that you just told me. That's why I was trying to figure out who Papa was married to at the time, because whoever it was still with him.
well, I mean, they could have still been together. I mean,
Because
yeah, they could have.
Papa didn't know about it, but you told Granny, or somebody told Granny, and Granny was scared of it
Yeah.
because she told y'all not to talk about it.
Well, see, Mother was scared of some spooky stuff anyhow. She told me not too many years back that when the first house they lived in, when I was a baby, before Jen really, I mean, I guess, yeah, it had to have been before Jen was born. Obviously, I was a baby. She said she thought there was a woman that would come in my room at night. Because,
That ain't shit.
because
Let me
she said that there would be, she would shut the door to my room where the crib was and stuff, and she
Yeah.
said the door would be open, and she said she heard things that made her believe a spirit was coming to see me when I was a baby.
Let me go. Every year that was what year?
You know that I've kept every single Halloween costume they've ever had?
I don't remember.
They're in a tote out there in the building.
I don't doubt it, because you have a glory of love for this kind of stuff. We hate it.
I don't know why. It's like every time when there's this little elementary school I went to in Chattanooga, and every time they'd stick of course it's old school now, the little paper witch and stuff on the windows. I was like, it's Halloween. But we always had so much fun. Our neighborhood was really fun to grow up in.
It's so much that thing scared the hell out of me.
But it
They
was a
wanted-
friendly ghost.
Women
It was
want
a
to take
friendly
y'all.
ghost.
The women want to take y'all trick or treating. So y'all left. They left me, Marty, and your daddy at the house behind that candy.
Wait,
I had
you
that
talking-
devil
you-
mask
You
on,
talking
had my
about
cover
Kelly, or you talking about David?
Kelly.
Kelly.
David ain't your daddy.
Well, I was about to say, hell, I don't know how. It's been so long since Daddy's been trick or treating. I don't fucking know.
No, listen to this.
Yeah, your dad used
Son.
to hang around with us a lot.
I
You talking
know
about two old boys turn white? I mean, they turn white. I snuck out the back door, put that devil mask on, and that cape, and I walked up to the door and knocked on the door like I was a trick-or-treater, and they both sat on the couch just looking. They wouldn't even get off the couch. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And your daddy finally walked up to the door, and he goes, yeah. I said, trick or treat. He goes, oh man. He said, I seen that. He said, you just blocked the whole door. I was like, who in the hell is out here? He said, that son got too big for trick or treat.
Wouldn't you ought to have been filming that? That would have been
That'd been
hilarious.
pretty
I
good.
said, yeah, I said, it was worth it just to see y'all's chicken faces. You won't even get off the couch and look at me. But what was weird, when I knocked on the door, they both looked up and they both went. Like you're not ready to run.
I was both scared as shit, wasn't they?
Yeah, Halloween growing up, now I don't know if your mama's told you this, but when we were growing up there in Hidden Branches in Harrison, Tennessee, that's the newer houses I was telling you about. They had like I guess a neighborhood club thing, and they would elect who was going to be over it that year and whatnot. But everybody would go trick or treating in that neighborhood, and we'd all meet back at this one lady's house. And we had like bobbing for apples and all kinds of different stuff, and it was just so much fun. And I remember one year Mother was over it, and she got to hang the wreaths on the hidden branches sign, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so excited!" But there was a lady that they all befriended that was a fortune teller. She did the tarot cards and stuff, and she put a tent in the garage there, and she's like, "Okay, y'all can come in here and get your fortunes told." Well, she did my garage story. She did my tarot card thing, and she said, "This one says that." Kyle, she said, "This one says that a guy's gonna come and bring you flowers, and then she goes, and this one says he's gonna die." And that freaked me out. I mean, telling you about now, that freaks you out, don't it? Because, you know, I had a boyfriend that did die. And then, but I kept going back to her, and she goes, "I've already read your fortune." And I'm like, "No, your future or whatever." I said, "I want you to do it again. I didn't like what you said before. I want a new one." She's like, "It don't work that way." But that was creepy.
I think it's better just not to know.
But they did, they said they'd blindfold you, and they'd say, "You're putting your hands on eyeballs," and it would be like something silly like eggs or something.
Where was this at?
Where I grew up, in that neighborhood.
Oh, they done it at the first church.
And then she'd say, "Well, you're sticking your hands on something else," but they'd blindfold you, and it was all food. But you really did think you were touching something.
They done you the same way, and then they stick your hand in like noodles and say you
Yeah,
got
it's
worms
brain,
and
or it was brains or something.
Get it?